So hello and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another, no it's not Assetto Corsa, it's Forza. We're looking at the new Forza Motorsport, and I guess I'm just going to be giving my opinion about the game. I've spent a couple of hours, despite still having issues with my shoulder. I'm just trying to really just let my shoulder settle down. It does feel much better, pending a recent visit to the hospital. But I really don't want to push it by doing hours and hours of testing. So I've probably had about 5 or 6 hours to do a little bit of a few runs here on Forza, and I've got to be honest, early doors I'm enjoying it, as much as I've hated most of the Forza iterations. I can't think of the word, but most of them, probably since Forza 4, never really did it for me. Slightly disappointed with Forza Horizon 5. Probably Forza Horizon 4 is probably the best Horizons for me, but coming back to Forza has kind of been a hard pill to swallow really, because I am definitely a die-hard ACC fan, and coming on console there isn't really other options for us, but really enjoying what Forza are doing here. I know it's early stages, I know it's literally just been released, and I don't think you can criticise too much on day one. I've really enjoyed spending my time just getting everything set up. Obviously there is a lot to set up, there are a lot of issues bothering us. Obviously one of my key issues that I really do hate about Forza is this sort of building your own cars and then racing them. There's such a massive gap sometimes. Say you're in the S-Class up to 800, you could race someone else in an S-Class up to 800 and you could be 6 to 10 seconds slower than them. I really don't understand the concept of what's in each class, and it's never really closely matched sometimes. Obviously just looking there, you can adjust the difficulty if you're obviously just doing in-game racing, or if you're wanting to race in the hot lap sessions, but we'll talk about that more later. But it just really does bother me that I think the best and closest racing is always with very evenly matched cars, and I don't see why they're always trying to create unevenly matched cars. Obviously for people that enjoy doing that, tuning cars and setting them up, that's great, but it doesn't bring great racing. I think we only need to look at Formula 1 and see that cars that are fast, and just gets boring watching someone run away with a race. So yeah, please feel free to leave your comments on what you think about this whole concept of adding performance parts to a car. I really do think if you just literally just increase the difficulty, you get far better racing. But anyway, let's move on to force feedback, a massive topic. I don't even know where to start with this. There's so many things to adjust in this game. It makes ACC look easy, to be honest. Obviously you can go into the advanced wheel settings, and I think this is really something that you're going to spend a lot of time on doing yourself. I don't think this is one setting works for one. Like I've said before, there's so many people with different firmware on their wheels. It would be a minefield for them to actually get this right, but I think it's so far away from actually being right. I definitely spent a lot of time myself. Hokihoshi and thank you very much. I spent a lot of time on these videos, and I can only suggest that you do the same. I definitely couldn't put a video together with as much comprehensive information as they've done, so I'll not try to. But yeah, spend a bit of time, get your wheel settings sorted, get all your dead zones set properly, and I think the game will feel much better. So coming back into the game, I really did want to spend some time in a car that I felt comfortable driving. Obviously we all start out in the Builders Cup, and I guess it depends what car you've chosen as to whether you're driving a front wheel drive car or a rear wheel drive car, or like myself, a four wheel drive car. But I really did feel that there was a lack of grip. Obviously it was early days as well with how my wheel was set up. But at this stage I really didn't think I had my wheels set up very well at all. But yeah, just a quick mention there. I don't think 6 is anywhere near hard enough, but I really did think that the difference between 6 and 8 was massive. But yeah, we'll maybe look at that another time. But yeah, I really did think that the force feedback in the game really did lack that sense of grip. And as we come on board here in the Audi, for my first ever outing in the GT3 car, zero traction control is going to feel very apparent very soon as we come down to turn 1 at Spa. The circuit again I know very well, just a little touch of acceleration there and the rear end just comes flying round. And I really would like to see some implementation of like a radar system to see where the cars are around you, as we've got a couple of BMWs just parked there on the entrance to Eau Rouge. Really wasn't sure what was going on there, and a very furious attack from the rear from the AI. So off again down to turn 1, play it a little bit more cautious on the acceleration, and as you can see the fuel's just suddenly depleting from the car. I've literally got 3 laps of fuel, having started with I think 15 laps of fuel, so really not sure what's going on with the fuel situation. And then suddenly I've got 347 laps of fuel in the car, not sure where that came from. But yeah, just looking on the dash there we can see traction control 2, ABS 1. Really not sure where to adjust that just now, or whether we can bring up some sort of MFD on the fly and adjust things, or whether we actually need to be remembering what the key bindings are. But as you can see at the top there with the telemetry, that would be something really useful just to make sure that you're not clipping your wheel. If that purple line really does start bouncing off the top of the graph there, there's just too much detail for your wheel to use it all. As you can see again, losing the rear of the car, just losing all sense of grip altogether, to be honest. It's something that really is lacking in the game, I think. I know coming from Assetto Corsa Competizione, the sensation of grip is fantastic on my wheel and pedal set. It really is. Something that you're not going to get using a controller is that sense of grip. But it really did feel like it was missing. So obviously you can see there, making a few adjustments, actually adding a bit of traction control, something that GT3 cars all have, and something that definitely seems to be useful in Forza. It's never going to work up the inside at turn 1 at Spa, especially not with the AI. I really don't think they even notice you there, as I'm sort of getting squeezed out onto the grass. It's that usual line to overtake the AI. No one just seems to cover that position at all. And then we're off into the lead at turn 1. And never really looked back really through this race. So with the AI on 6, no one ever really gets close to me throughout the entire race. I'm just always leaving them behind. And as you can see there, picking up the podium. So yeah, coming back to the replays and the start of the race, I really do think I was looking for more from Forza. As you can see, the AI getting sideways and just pushing the car out of the way really. But yeah, I was really hoping for better graphics, and I'm just not blown away, to be honest. I thought Assetto Corsa Competizione wasn't particularly polished on with regards to the replays, but they're actually better than you think. Obviously we've got a more active crowd and the scenery that they've sort of gone on and on about, but in all honesty, if you could make the game feel better physically using more of the memory, I'd be much more for that than having the crowd in the background. It really isn't something that I ever look at whilst I'm racing, and it's only a second thought really whilst driving along. As you can see, jumping back to ACC, obviously the crowd is more minimal, the marshals are probably less, they look obviously a little bit more like stick people, but I'm really not interested in what's going on. with the crowd, to be honest. I know they've hyped it up a lot about the game. There's so much going on, and there's these live sceneries. Maybe they're spending too much time away from that, which does detract from the sensations throughout the game, how much detail can be passed through the wheel while we're actually racing. But yeah, just a little gripe. And probably the audio as well was my biggest issue with the replays. Just sounds a little bit too much reverb and echoey to me. But yeah, coming to the cars in the garage, I was really surprised to see so many cars sat in my garage ready to use. I really did only expect to see the one car that I picked up during the Builders Cup, which was supposed to be a freebie. I only paid £26 for the game on Game Pass, and never really thought it was going to be I never thought it was going to be free on Game Pass, that's for sure. A brand new AAA title such as this, but whether I paid for something I didn't particularly need to do, or whether I've actually got a few freebies within this, I'm not quite sure at this stage. But coming to probably an area of the game that I'll probably spend more time than I'll spend actually racing people. I'm not sure whether racing people or online lobbies is going to be something that I'll look at doing on Forza. I really don't think it's going to be better racing than you get on Assetto Corsa Competizione. Obviously there's a certain level of driver that we all expect to come from Forza, and I can't see that being very different unless the rating system is bettered. I've heard a lot of people complaining about the rating system, and people just not really being punished enough for bad driving, or people running into back of other people, and then the person that's been shunted getting heavily penalised. So yeah, I'm not sure whether that really does need looking at. Obviously we can see here, looking at the leaderboard, that I'm down in 90th position. So already into the top 100 out of 2,000 people that have attempted this so far. But yeah, I really would like to see more drivers looking at these time trials. And yeah, one little tip, don't waste your time on the outlap, just skip it. I don't know why you would want to start your outlap from there. It should really just start from here straight away, I think. But yeah, I really do like the concept. Obviously it's nothing new as you start the start finish line. Obviously this is the first lap really, but as you start you get the closest guy to you, or I guess they just start out with someone that they think is going to be similar. But yeah, you just get a new challenger, new rival every time you come through. And it was just saying lessons learned there, because this is definitely a good one for you. Obviously you can see the Mercedes just pulling away from me down this back straight, but I have actually just realised I forgot to change the fuel, and I forgot to take out all these litres of fuel. Obviously you can see no litres seem to be coming out, so I'm not quite sure what is happening. It seems to be a bit of a fuel glitch going on for me, which I've seen a number of people mention. But the changing from medium tyres to soft tyres is huge. Obviously better acceleration off the corner, better grip through the corners, and obviously you can see the Mercedes already in the rear view mirror. As much as it is quicker in a straight line, I think I'd actually do rinse him through the corners. And obviously Spider-Man there just giving me that little mention. With great power comes great responsibility, so don't think adding more and more power to your setup will give you better and better lap times, unless you're actually better with throttle management. Sometimes you really do just seem to get more and more power, and coming off the corners just seems to be lots of torque steer through the front wheel drive cars. Obviously once you start adding traction control, you're just limiting how much power you can put down, and it really is limiting. I think having taken off the traction control, having set it to sport earlier driving the GT3 car, it really does limit how much power you get to put down coming off the corners, and it is too detrimental, I think. So I think it's definitely one thing to really start learning how to manage acceleration off the corners. But I really think this is a nice touch. I know it's something Project Cars 2 did, and it probably is already in the other Forzas, but being able to see all these cars and the drivers putting them through their paces really is good, I think. Something that has been sorely lacking on Assetto Corsa Competizione for a very long time is the time trials special events, which has been a massive gripe of mine, which I'm sure that most people do know. But seeing this guy just put this little car through its paces, looks like a beast of a machine. I'll definitely enjoy looking forward to driving that. Not driven any real rear-wheel drive cars, but that looks a lot of fun. But I do like some of the replays. They do look quite aggressive from the car, which is pretty good, I think. But I think it's just the audio from the cars just sounds like I'm listening to it with a cup or some sort of megaphone attached to my ear. Everything's really echoey, lots of reverb. It just doesn't sound natural for me. See the car, the tyres locking up there, even though we've got ABS going, so definitely need to look at the key bindings to see if we can adjust these things on the fly. I'd love to be able to just slightly decrease traction control and stuff. Maybe that's something that we can adjust through the preload, but I definitely prefer to do this more on the fly. But yeah, please do leave your comments in the comments section. I'd definitely be interested in listening to what people have got to say about Forza, some of the issues that they might be having with it, whether they're going to be sticking with the game. Just anything you've got to discuss would be really interesting for the channel. Definitely looking forward to getting back in the seat eventually. Definitely the weather does throw a few different images to the game, and some of the polished replays do look quite nice. I do like some of the cutscenes; they really do look really well set. Picking up a bit of dirt there as well. Lots of understeer, and doesn't seem to be any dirt picked up there. But anyway, if you've enjoyed the video, please do smash that thumbs up button. Leave a comment in the comment section. If you're not yet subscribed, you know what to do. Until next time, ciao for now.